Mitiana Mubende, we gave the contractor out of the money which was appropriated, the 462 billion, 39 billion out of the IPCs which he had. But now what he told us is that all that money, he used it to pay the debts and pay the suppliers, and right now he needs another 30 billion, which is not in the budget. Kampala Jinja Highway, that one, we had to now use the internal mechanism of the ministry to intervene, and that's what you see the works going on that road is by the ministry internal capacity, the unit which is working on that road to put some sanity on the road. The following projects are progressing but at a reduced rate due to delayed payments or incomplete land acquisition. Land acquisition is another nightmare. Kilaka Sangat Matuga, the number of properties which we have not yet paid for. Kisubi Nakauka Natete, Nakauka Mauguru Nanziga, Nakauka Kasanje Mpiji, Nakauka, Kasanje Buwaya, and Entebbe Nachuogo. This is one project within that area, but the challenge of that project is mainly land acquisition, because the contractor accepted to do a pre-financing arrangement which was agreed on with the Minister of Finance for 2 years, but he needs land for him to work.
How much is supposed to be paid to the PAPs?
The PAPs, 380 billion. Nebi Road, this one's about to be completed, but again, the progress is slow. We need to... Matuga Semtoka Peka, this one, Abeka, who is the local contractor, demands about 44 billion. Karuma Pakwachi Road, this one is progressing. The contractor, China Railway 7, together with NEC, they demand about 20 billion. Busunju Kiboga Hoima Road, this is under reconstruction by again Abubeka, who's demanding us another 30 billion on this particular road. Karuma Orio and the Orio Pakwach sections, these are being addressed, and I think very soon they'll be finished. Additionally, key bridge projects remain under construction but constrained because of funding, and the progress is ongoing, but it could be better if we had a reliable fund release. Katonga Bridge, including Rera and Kalanda's Swamp crossings along Masaka. Then the Upper Katonga Bridge, that's Kabula Soke, Villa Maria Road. And Seziwar Bridge on Kayunga Mukono Road. The cumulative effects of these suspensions and delays has led to slow absorption of project resources, exposure to financial claims, risk of asset deterioration, and reputational concerns. If not urgently addressed, these disruptions will compromise Uganda's ability to deliver critical national infrastructure and maintenance of the existing network. Impact of the inadequate funding. The funding shortfall of 2.472 trillion in this financial year has had far-reaching consequences on the implementation of the National Roads Program. These impact manifest across land acquisition, ongoing project performance, the paved road network, and maintenance of gravel roads. Impact on land acquisition and project commencement. Land acquisition remains a prerequisite, and this is in the Constitution, I think Article 26, for access to site and commencement of physical works. The delay or absence of funds for land compensation has constrained progress on both government of Uganda projects and also externally funded projects. The lack of access to site has, A, prevented contractors from mobilizing, leading to suspension of activities. Triggered claims for idle equipment, because it's in the law that if the contractor cannot, if you can't give him access to land, then we charge you idle equipment. The ministry currently requires 843 billion in total to complete land acquisition obligations in financial year 2025-26 on all ongoing projects, including those funded by donors. and the list is in the annexes which I have provided. Impact on ongoing projects, areas and claims. Right Honorable Speaker, the under allocation in 25-26 has further compounded certified areas carried forward from the previous year, which, as I stated earlier, is 1 trillion and 71 billion. These areas relate to completed or ongoing works for which certificates were issued and approved. Failure to clear these obligations has resulted in the following. 1, suspension or reduced performance on 27 ongoing projects. The lists are in the annex. Accrual of commercial interest on delayed payments estimated at over 48 billion in financial year 2025-26 alone. Delays in execution of co-finance projects, potentially affecting Uganda's credibility with development partners. Additionally, the continued accumulation of unpaid certificates discourages private sector confidence, increases future unit cost, and may result in government being classified as high-risk client in the infrastructure contracting market. The impact on paved roads. Honorable Speaker, Uganda's paved road network, now standing at 6,312 kilometers, is experiencing increasing structural distress due to insufficient maintenance, deferred interventions, increased traffic and climate change, and according to the latest technical assessment, 2,460 kilometers, which is 39% of the network, require urgent intervention as follows. 1, 1,993 kilometers require periodical maintenance, like what we did on Northern Bypass. 260 kilometers require rehabilitation. 270 kilometers have deteriorated to the level of reconstruction. These include roads like Gulu, Atiak, Nimule, which need total reconstruction. Honorable Speaker and members, periodic maintenance intervention costs about 880 million per kilometer if you do it within time. If not implemented,
888.
Yes, and 88 million shillings per kilometer. If not implemented, these roads degrade and instead require rehabilitation, which costs up to 2.59 billion per kilometer. Again, if this is not done, so the deterioration of the 1,993 kilometers due for periodical maintenance further into rehabilitation would result into preventable fiscal loss of up to 850 billion. This, however, does not even include the direct cost for road users, such as vehicle maintenance, the accidents which happen as a result, etc. If roads already earmarked for rehabilitation are neglected further, they transition into reconstruction category, just as what we are doing on Masaka to Mutukura Road, which costs 3.7 billion per kilometer, from 888 to 3.70 billion per kilometer, if not attended to in time. Consequently, failure to address 100 kilometers of rehabilitation-ready roads could impose an additional burden of 111 billion shillings to the government. Right Honorable Speaker. Further, the national asset value of Uganda's paved network has dropped from 37.4 trillion to 26.9 trillion, a depreciation of about 10.5 trillion, largely due to underfunding and deferred maintenance. This therefore calls for urgent need to provide funding to attend to the maintenance backlog. Right Honorable Speaker, this may not be in the statement. We have had discussions on this matter of maintenance. Not once, not twice, even within my committee, the Committee of Parliament on Infrastructure. And we have been urging that for every $10 we invest in construction, we should invest $3 in maintenance. It has not worked. But we have put this very clear to the finance department, the ministry. Impact on unpaved roads and routine maintenance. The national gravel road network, spanning over 14,000 kilometers, is also facing significant pressure due to poor funding and recurring climate shock. The current condition assessment indicates that 48% of these roads are in good condition, 35% in fair condition, 17% in poor condition. Maintenance efforts are hampered by A, unreliable and inadequate roads for grading and spot improvement. 2, depletion of gravel materials in highly demanded districts. And 3, infrastructure degradation due to flooding, landslides, and prolonged wet seasons. The ministry, my ministry, its capacity to respond to routine maintenance demands has been overstretched. Without predictable funding and mechanization support, rural access and road connectivity are likely to deteriorate further. Strategic recommendation and priority actions. Right Honorable Speaker, in light of the impacts outlined above, the ministry proposes the following measures to safeguard the value of the ongoing investment, restore the project's momentum, and prevent further deterioration of the road network. Prioritize and ring-fence funding for periodical maintenance. The most economically prudent intervention is to protect roads still in maintainable condition. Periodic maintenance should be prioritized and ring-fenced in this financial year to prevent the 1,933 kilometers from degrading into high-cost rehabilitation or reconstruction categories. This alone could avert a fiscal loss of 850 billion. 2, clear certified areas to enable resumption of works. The ministry recommends that substantial portion of the 1.071 trillion in areas be cleared early enough in the financial year to 1, prevent further contractor demobilization, 2, avert accumulation of commercial interest, 3, avoid prolongation costs arising from claims by contractors, and 4, restore momentum on suspended or slowed down sites. Be pressed on fully suspended government of Uganda funded projects such as Mitiana Mubende, Kampala Jinja, Busega-Mpigi Expressway, among others. 5, allocate a dedicated fund for land acquisition. On this matter, Right Honorable Speaker, we have made a resolution that we are not going to accept any project to be directed to commence a project if the Ministry of Finance has not provided money for land acquisition going forward. Because of the recurring constraint affecting both donor and government-funded projects. So we need an immediate allocation of about 843 billion in this financial year. In order to, this would enable us to access the sites and avoid breach of contract obligations. Projects under disbursement pressure from development partners must be prioritized to protect Uganda's credibility. Assurance and conclusion, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, our road network remains a critical national asset that underpins economic growth, regional integration. Fortunately or unfortunately, we're in the center of the region, and our network does not only serve Uganda, it also serves our neighbors and delivery of service. Its total replacement value is estimated at 37.4 trillion. However, due to underfunding and deferred maintenance, this value has greatly depreciated by about 10.5 trillion. And the risks of further deterioration are growing if the funding levels remain unchanged. The funding shortfall of 2.472 trillion in this financial year has triggered project suspension, delayed land acquisition, accumulated areas, and increase the fiscal exposure through interest and claim liabilities. The national paved network is now experiencing a backlog of 2,460 kilometers, requiring urgent intervention. Without decisive action, an additional 300 500 kilometers may deteriorate and become more costly within this single year. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to assure you and all the honorable members that my ministry is committed to developing and maintaining the road network, but we need to be assisted, of course, be getting the right resources, and we shall frugally utilize the allocated resources in the most effective manner possible for a reliable and safe works, and also to ensure that our transportation infrastructure and services remain available to the public. I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.